Welcome to Humanity Unboxed. Beautiful background as always, Michael.
Cool.
How are you doing is it sunny in California?
Yes.
Yeah,
Today is sunny. Yesterday was overcast, but today
yeah.
is sunny.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
we had a heat wave. And I mean this one was actually what hot. It wasn't, just the UK heat wave. We had
Yeah.
nice heat and sun.
Dry out all this stuff. Dry out all the
Yeah,
moist stuff, where the bugs are.
exactly, exactly. Well, it brings out all the other bugs. It's still
Yeah.
bugs, yeah, but it's fine. It's good. Sunshine makes everything better, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we're still talking about creativity. I mean, there's
hmm
so much we've dived in a little bit. I wonder if we should kind of go into what AI brings us or pushes us towards as humans. Because now with AI being able to do all the linear stuff, if we have to call it that, or the whatever mundane stuff, the follower kind of stuff, we can be more, or we can allow ourselves to express ourselves through more creativity, if we know how. I mean, the systems have bred followers, not thinkers necessarily.
Copies and followers. Copies and followers. It's
Yeah,
both copies.
yeah.
It's not it's not the new, in the moment. It's
Mm,
far away from that. And I thought in what actually, this is interesting to ask it, because I found that I work with Notebook a lot, because I want my own. I don't want any other stuff mixed in. Yeah.
yeah.
And I found that that it cannot be just a function. Like, we say, oh, humans shouldn't do, functions like sorting papers or stuff. And AI cannot do it. It cannot
Mm,
follow instruction to say, put all the love letters in the love letters, put
mm,
all the scientific math letters. It cannot segregate and sort and order. It is not, perhaps it can a little bit,
yeah.
but it interprets then. So it what I experienced, that's what my experience is. It takes that and then rewrites it too. So it tries to be creative for
Mm,
you, which, let's say it takes a beautiful love letter, a love poem
yeah.
that you have written to Scott. And so this love poem, it takes and it reinterprets that love poem. It doesn't just take the poem like you wrote it and just
Mm,
sort it there where it's supposed to be, in love, in the
mm,
love folder.
yeah.
And I was very disappointed. I'm very disappointed in all these things because I have to rewrite everything. I have to
Yeah.
literally look and say, that's not my voice.
Yeah.
And
So why do
and
you think it
creativity
does
is
that?
your voice.
Yeah.
What and
Why do you
what
think
you
it does that?
I don't know. I have
Mm,
no clue why does it. I would tell you if I had a clue. I
yeah.
think I think to show value. I think to show the AI people wanted to say, oh, it changed that. Oh, without it, I couldn't do it. So it
Mm,
it creates that thing you
line.
need to be in hand. Very interesting thing I thought too. There was just a research done
Mm,
that the more people understand AI, the
mm,
less they use it. The people that always use AI understand it the least. So basically, you're not aware about AI.
yeah.
So when
Yeah.
you're not, the people that are not aware about, what the natural function of AI would be in the human centric thing, they're not looking for. They're
Yeah.
using AI all the time, and the people that know it and understand it and how it works use it the least. And
Yeah.
it's very interesting. And this was a real big research and stuff because this money's no problem when it comes to AI. So
Yeah.
you know, so
Wouldn't
that
that
was
be
a
nice if
yeah,
education at that kind of money?
uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And also, that good to say. I think Germany pays half the money for Germany running and double the money on war. So they could have fixed the whole thing. They
Mm,
use double the money of running the company, the state, than war. They've
Yeah.
committed to more war. So
Well, war
that's
is a big business. I
it's a
mean,
bit no, it is. That's why
mm,
they all go. That's why
mm,
they all. But it's just sad that we could actually have a beautiful world and whatever.
yeah,
I'm not saying it's a perfect world, but we can have a beautiful world that really grows, where humans
yeah,
really grow, not just always fighting fear and death and life.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, what do we humans do? We fight fear, death, and life, basically.
yeah,
That's why
yeah,
That's why I say the fear will be really eliminated, because sooner people don't. They shoot themselves in Ukraine before they get pulled into the war, because they'd rather have their choice and stuff. So interesting stuff. It's just you can't. You have to balance, and you have to look. You have to be aware. You
yeah.
have to unbox.
Yeah, and be open to possibilities, right? So
Yeah.
even in AI, there's a lot of fear being built around what it is, what it can evolve into.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything that
Mm-hmm.
technology is was created by a human,
Mm-hmm.
initially at least, and there was
Mm-hmm.
intention in that.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the intention that the AI or technology or la large language models come with? I mean, I've had some interesting idea bounce backs with AI models, but I have to be aware in those conversational spaces. And I've had big disagreements with AI models as well because they don't always listen to what my request is, or
That's what I'm saying. So
yeah,
you request something, and
yeah,
it's very clear your function in our interaction right now
yeah,
is to sort, not to rewrite, not
yeah.
to.
And yet still, I mean, what we use or what I use is just the basics, and most of it's, free or the
Yeah,
cheapest subscription kind of thing. So I'm not using highly complicated versions of it. But everywhere now, I mean, Google, um, searches, SEO, so search engine optimization, having your website information seen. Your
mhm,
website is always where your home for your business or your content
yeah,
used to be, is now no longer of value really because AI has decided, or Google or Gemini or
yeah.
whichever
The seven people
is
on top.
created, yeah.
Yeah.
But they've created little summaries, the AI summary, which comes up first. So
Mhm.
people decide from that whether they actually want to go down.
And
Now,
those are totally wrong, because they're rewritten. They're totally, when you go into it,
yeah, yeah.
that.
Often they're very wrong, and so is most of the AI research that you do. So now that if I do research around something, I ask for references, and then I have to go
Mhm.
check those references to make sure that this is actually, the real thing. But at some point, we become reliant on it, and we don't have the time anymore to check, and so we regurgitate whatever we're being fed
Mhm.
instead of maybe being able to step back and go, what else can I create? How can I create without, being
Mhm.
reliant on something outside of me? And
Mhm.
then maybe using it to make sense of it, because often
Mhm.
creativity is quite non-linear. For me to verbally express things that's going on in my head isn't always so easy, especially not in language, because language is very limited.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that
and
it
our,
can
our
help with.
our brain is much more, so we have to condense it down. What would be the best word for that? Like,
Yes.
how often
And
do
then I
we
hope you
here
understand
here
that
here
same way that I do.
you say here you say, hey, Michael, I know the word, and then I come up with something, or you come up with
Yeah.
something, because that's why the dialogue between the people gets to a clearer perspective of both,
Yes.
because we fix the words, we fix
Yeah.
the more, and then, oh, you're going, and then my other sentence is, oh, that's what she wants to say, because
Yeah.
sometimes I look at you and say, oh, that's what she wants to say in the context. Also I look in the context, which I can never do, never.
Yeah.
Never. Why would you need AI if you have 8 billion brains? Every brain is
Yeah.
different, right? 8 billion brains. If you have AI, we have more. It's impossible to make because we have more processing power in the brain than the whole AI has, in one brain.
Yeah.
We have
But
more process.
we don't always use, so for
The
me,
linear,
put
we
it
don't do it
down on
linear,
paper.
but we have
Yeah.
senses, and
Yeah.
our brain processes not only thoughts, it processes senses too,
Yes.
and context.
Yeah.
And so we have more, how you say it, binary clicks in our brain than all the AI has, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And somewhere we need to find a balance there with.
We don't have linear. I don't know, I don't know all the Bible word by word. So obviously that's not what I can do, but other things, when it comes to decisions or understanding, binary understanding, circuitry into space, into, reality. Yeah.
Yeah. Context, relation
Context,
with environment. Yeah.
and wholeness also, because sometimes we're looking at things in the wholeness of all. When I think about humans, it's not about when I think about cars. Humans is a different context. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can know everything about cars, but then can I think what cars is in the consciousness of human? What is a car? Can I think? I can ask you the question, but I cannot figure it out. I can ask you the question. So what is a car in the context of humanity? Then we can go and say, oh, we are nomads. We are born as nomads. This is a technology development. I mean, I just could give you 15,000 things, explanations.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Well, I'm just writing that down because I'm going to ask ChatGPT.
Ask it.
Car in the context of humanity.
Exactly. That's super. And more and more people doubt AI because it was not transparent and honestly communicated. My questions, I was basically not invited anymore to talks about AI, to the consultants of the AI. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I asked her, what does it do for humans? It makes us only better worker bee. And I don't believe that either, because so the computer has 5 to 8 times more work output than we had before the computer, right? And the cell phone. We have now output, and everybody is saying, "Oh, you have so much time and so much money. You get." Nobody has more time and less time and less money. So the more we create output, the less time and money we have actually, and enjoy being living life.
So that's where I want to get to. So how do we fix this? How do we move beyond this? Because the more help we bring in, like a computer or a cell phone,
washing machine, all this stuff.
Washing machine or
you should have
dishwasher.
You should have nothing. Let's say you have you wash the thing with your hands.
Yeah.
And all you have a washing machine, right? Or also for the dishes.
Yeah.
Where's the time? Where's the time that you save? Why you're not bored? You should be sitting bored.
No, but we're filling in the gaps always because we're filling
in.
Right?
And
because
that's the creativity.
You can only be productive if you're busy.
Yeah.
You don't need to be doing anything necessarily. It's just being busy. And then we measure it by the output. So, how many books have you written, or how many whatever whatever it is.
But then it doesn't really matter because I've written 8 booooks and it doesn't really matter.
So
my life has not changed because I wrote 8 books. I'm good. I'm no clearer about myself. That's why I wrote them. I wrote them for myself. I'm clear, and from your journaling, from that book that you do, or books, that is it just gets you clear to express things. But because you take time to think. But it's not about the product. It's always about the process, right?
Yeah. But that's a creative process. So in the creative process, we don't need an outcome. We don't need it to be validated. But in humanity, not in humanity, in society, in a systemic society, we do need an outcome because we need to prove our value.
Yeah, we have to prove, which is, why do we need to prove our value? Nature has given us a unique life, existence. Nature, let's say nature is the creativity. Yeah. Why would the creativity create one-on-one humans from birth if they don't have a certain purpose, right? So every one-on-one has a purpose. Do we need to understand the purpose? Oh, because this person always sleeps on the floor and always think, do we need to understand why he does that? Perhaps he does something mentally for the world.
Maybe we don't need to know, though.
Also, we
Maybe it
don't
doesn't
need,
matter.
we don't. You and I know that we don't need to know. But when we can understand it, then we have to. I think they said, I think I sent that to you. The whole, right? About the whole in the can you remember? I think I said the clip about the whole, and they
Oh,
didn't know
yes, it
what,
says in the field.
right,
Yeah.
and then so first of all, the people in power always want to get what people don't understand, what's not linear, because linear, they could do something against this. So their creativity is used for, if it's linear and they understand it, then they could do something, and the most linear is like bombing, bombing. I'm bombing something. When they understand this, I hurt them. I inflict pain. I do power, and then they have to submit. Power is never against. It's never, because that eliminates the power in the process. When I say I have to destroy you, that I'm powerful, I'm in whole less powerful, because you are part of all of one, and I destroy you, and in the process, I'm killing myself, like the systems, right? Not updating, just being the same, just taking over, and then just getting rid of all this stuff that is not for their best strengths, for their domination. So when it doesn't, so I'm buying it. Let's say I am a company, I buy a church, and then out of the church I make a showroom out of that showroom, and then say, hey, I don't need that. That is only aesthetic. I need to dominate. So I'm buying this AI company to dominate. So it's basically an understanding of power that is always collaboration and dance. Never, ever. The real power is always domination and
But there's no money in that, there's no control in that. So that's not going to be promoted. And yeah, and in the end of the day, coming back to our value, validation, purpose, I think is the word that you use. Finding your purpose and your why, and I mean, this is all things created to sell, to sell scarcity,
and
to
not to be
sell
happy.
it.
And not to be happy. See, that's the stuff. I do this. I buy myself a cat. It's a lot of work. Even a cat is a lot of work, right? But it fulfills me to sit with my cat at night reading a book, for example. And the stuff is a promise. The money has changed from our worth to a promise. That's why debt is so, that's why we have 3 trillion debt and 1 trillion assets, really. So how can that be? It's all in the mind, right? So, and that's all creativity. Imagine how much creativity we have wasted for this, or misused, to find out how we can. But because if I say all of a sudden, don't worry about money. So money is established, and you can have debt. It doesn't really. You can twice as much debt. If you have $10, you can $40 or 40 pounds to. All of a sudden, I just could make it. The $40 and 40 pounds are never as much worth as the one.
Yeah.
So it just from a very simple understanding, the creativity that goes into to set a mindset of humanity to just say, we just get a loan, we could just do this. And the think about we're talking about creativity. How much that you change a collective mindset, at least from the Western world, that it doesn't really matter how much debt you have or anything. Try to get as much debt as possible. All the billionaires, they don't have cash, they have debt. Yeah,
Yeah.
they have that.
Or they have a promise of cash. They have a
Promissory
promise
note, a
of,
promissory note,
yeah, exactly.
a
Yeah.
promissory note,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
these words also promissory note. This vernacular also disappears. They can put in something else, you know.
Mm, mm.
Yeah.
But yet there's an imbalance, an energetic imbalance, because if I am in debt or I owe,
Mm, mm.
then I create an element of guilt because now I have to
And
fix
stress and
because
stress.
I'm out of equilibrium,
Yeah.
and stress, and I need to perform more and be better and fix this
And you
imbalance.
have to, and
I'm
you
not
create
good
an
enough.
absolute. You create an absolute, meaning you have to. It doesn't matter how bad you felt, and I told you I felt really bad this last month. How bad you felt, you have to get the 250 pounds to your car, to
Yeah.
your whatever. And you have to pay the bills on that. And this linear structure, finite, firm structure of keeping your payments, keeping this,
Mm.
is doing to the human soul. That's not the soul. The soul doesn't do like that.
No.
You know, it doesn't do that. Like I cannot say, okay, we always say the certain words in our podcast. We
Mm.
would never, our soul would say no. No,
Yeah.
like a total structure in our podcast, So
Yeah. Yeah, but that would
we
take away what we have,
yeah,
what we are
and
creating.
yeah,
Yeah.
and actually we prove it because when we are not prepared, when we just dance,
Mm.
then our podcast. I mean, I'm blown away when I go through the. I showed
Yeah.
the numbers yesterday. I blow away about
Yeah.
the people who click at it because it can be Miles Davis didn't prepare. Miles
Mm.
did not train. Did you know that?
No,
He
I
said
didn't. No.
he said no rehearsals. Herbie Hancock, all these superstars.
Yeah.
No, this and they taped it right away, like
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
They
Well,
taped their music
yeah.
like me, and now it's the Kind of Blue is the highest jazz album ever. Was downloaded billions of times and whatever. And that was
Yeah.
1959.
Yeah. And he didn't even know that anybody would be able to download it. He didn't care though,
He
when
didn't. No, that's what he was totally always in the moment.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, creating in the moment. And there's a lot of examples like that, I think. Even, yeah, I can think of a few. It's a
Yeah.
gorgeous way to create because in essence we're always prepared because
And we're always creating.
and we're
We
always
always have thoughts and say, I need to do this, I need to do that. And then your creative mind goes right away. So
mm,
how can I pick up Scooter, my boy, my girl, and you go
yeah.
you can't how to organize good desk. I organize, get the stuff out,
Mm,
for you to and all that stuff. So
yeah.
you constantly create, you cannot not create by existing.
Yeah.
You can lay on the thing, but then you have to lay there because you feel
Yeah.
like when my essence is to lay there, I have to, think where I lay and how I lay and whatever. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
you constantly process that. You just go
Mm,
by, and then usually you go by feeling like an animal. It
mm,
goes by feeling, what feels best.
yeah.
But you still, as a humans, at least they think, how could it be? Oh, can I do the pillow this way or that? I mean, it's constantly, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. And mostly when you're in a place of stillness though.
or you shower. The people
Yeah.
say, all this, I go for a shower and all of a sudden all the thoughts comes in. Because
For a walk.
shower warms, relaxing.
Yeah.
So it doesn't come when you say, I got to do the cigarette pack. I have to design the cigarette pack
Mm,
by in 2 days because they come out with the cigarettes.
mm,
No, it should be always I mean, there is a point when you can go and say, let's say you have written. I can only tell you from the books.
mm.
You have everything done from the book, right?
Yeah.
But you haven't put it together.
Yeah.
I think that's the point where it pivots to, I'm going to have it in a week. I'm going to make the effort to have it. And it is also more fun. See, if that wasn't fun to put it together, then I wouldn't do it. But
Mm,
because you see, it's almost here to release it to the world.
Yeah.
That's such a beautiful feeling. I think Rick Rubin talked about this. He
Mm.
doesn't want to create, or he likes figuring out, and then comes the pivot point when it draws him in to release it, even though he doesn't care for if it's famous or not, but
Yeah.
there comes the pivot and it pulls him to
Mm.
release it. Yeah. So you gotta be very aware about that, you know?
Oh, yeah, and it's such an individual process.
Yeah.
And at the same time, there's also a sense of discipline involved because if you know your process, the more you know your process, the more you know how to structure yourself
Right.
around it.
And be disciplined
Whether
and be
and
disciplined.
be
So
disciplined.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
because it's not just a haphazard, oh, I'm just gonna wing it. It is got that as a part of it, but there's also the, okay, I'm also going to pitch up every day and I'm ready and I'm open and I'm aware and I'm um, curious and I'm
yeah,
interested and I'm willing.
yeah.
And all of those things are sometimes not comfortable, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Although,
very, very funny because 3 days ago, I took the notebook stuff
yeah,
and I just looked what it always suggested. And I read through, I said, "Ugh." So what I did is I'm pretty much done with the content. But I put it in the master document, introduction, preface, and all the stuff, chapters. And I put it there, and I was so excited because I hit that pivot point that I
yeah,
wanted to, release it to the world. But I
yeah,
wouldn't release it to the world when I don't think it's complete,
yeah,
So
yeah,
not, I don't want somebody tell me, okay, you've got to release it. It's perfect. No, it's not. And I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect guy. But
no,
I
perfect
say,
doesn't
yeah,
exist anyway.
yeah.
Mm,
And also it's about me. It's not about anybody else. So,
yeah,
and I had that. And I worked like one day, and I felt so good. I just had a lot of stuff afterwards, that pulled me out of that thing. But I had so much pleasure and joy, and I worked literally 8 hours on the computer. When we
yeah, yeah,
neurodiverse
yeah.
have a focus that has nobody has,
Hmm.
and it was very, very exciting. And I got tons done, tons,
Yeah.
done.
And it's interesting when you are able to just let it go and do it. You know, sometimes you can just put your head down and 12 hours later and it's done. You know, you've done something that would take months if
But if
you
I don't have a joy, a passion or joy wouldn't be gone.
yeah,
It has to run by joy and passion.
yeah.
And very interesting, I write the thing on education, and the neurodiversity is first. And
Mm,
on the education, I was very much almost want to do education first.
mm,
But then, because so much is shifting in the education right now, so to hold back and do the neurodiversity first, because that I connect that book with the one-on-oneness,
yeah.
because dyslexia is defined, nobody's the same,
Yeah.
nobody's the same. It's a spectrum. And I go into that thing of spectrum, and I said, yeah, you have to be one-on-one first, and then from that go to the education, but
Mm,
because the education must also rely on the one-on-one, so that,
yeah. Yeah.
and so that you can take care of yourself without parents, without,
Yeah. Schools, teachers
everything.
telling
Not,
you can't
yeah,
go to the toilet.
no, no. Yeah, when to go
Yeah.
to, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
the best. I still have no reason. Yep, I've still not heard a reason why that is. You
Oh,
know,
yeah. It's not
that's
safe.
domination, not trusting the kids. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not. It's totally. Why would I not? I trust the kids.
Yeah,
Why?
but on the
Why?
other hand, we try and teach them that they should listen to their bodies, but they can't go to the toilet when they need to. You know,
Exactly.
they
Yeah.
need. You know. Anyway, let's not go there. But
Yeah.
and this is the world, though, the society that we live in is to not
It's
trust.
only the affection, because a lot of people live their own lives anyway, So I
Mm,
found that also out. A lot of people live their own lives anyway, but pretending they're system relevant. I said,
yeah.
let it go, let the system relevant go, just be you. That's the only, what we always say, be the you,
Yeah.
That's the only, in nature, the only thing you should do is be you. There's only one should, or one must. To
Yeah.
be you,
Yeah.
whatever nature made you, you know?
Yeah. And that's a perfect place to end it.
We are all right. Wow.
Be you.
We never age when we do our podcast. It goes so fast.
Exactly. Thank you, Michael.
Thank
Just
you.
be you.